Well, we were keeping a very close eye on the fire at that woodchip factory in Richards Bay. More than a week now it's been burning, but it looks like we could be on the winning side of it now. Experts, though, are very concerned about the health risk that it's posing to pregnant women, children, as well as the elderly. Remember as well, residents urged to stay indoors or even walk around with their masks. Lethiwe Mdluli, hello to you. And as I look over your right-hand shoulder, as the wind is not too intense, but still very much there, I'm hearing the word the fire is contained at the moment. Is that the official update?
Well, good morning, Gareth. I just spoke to Danny Kanusin, who's the general manager at NCT Woodchip Mill here in Richards Bay, and he did say that all three piles are almost completely extinguished. I want to step out of shot so that I can show you what the situation looks like right now. The pile that you're seeing last week, of course, it was engulfed in flames, but this morning, as you can see, there are no flames. It's mostly just smoke that you're seeing on your screens right now. And that's the situation with the other two piles that were burnt last week. According to the general manager, right now, basically, they are just cleanup operations inside, and they're focusing on completely extinguishing the three piles. He is saying that it might take about a week for them to completely do away with the small fires that are still there. But right now, they are mostly concerned about the smoke in the air. They are saying that because of the winds, and we are here and we can actually see that there's a lot of winds here in Richards Bay, the communities that are nearby this company might be affected. But of course, it's just smoke without any chemicals. So those people who might have asthma and other underlying conditions are urged to just stay indoors because of the smoke that is in the air. Last week, we did manage to speak to air authorities here in Richards Bay, and they were saying that the situation is under control, and if there are any risks to residents, they will update and just basically warn them to not be near this company. But right now, they are saying that the situation is under control. The residents are safe. It's just that for those people with underlying conditions are urged to be indoors and not make their way near the NCT woodchip mill because of the smoke that you're seeing in the air right now.
And unfortunately, when we look at the weather situation, it's generally windy that far north at the best of times, but rain hasn't exactly been on your side, Lethiwe, either. And I see there is some high chance of rain, but only over the next few days as well. Are authorities and NCT, are they just going to let this burn out, let the smoke die off naturally, or are they still manually intervening? Are you still seeing fire trucks there? Are you still seeing fire hoses there?
Well, Gareth, driving to Richards Bay, there was a bit of rain, and the weather conditions are expected to change. In Richards Bay, we are expecting rain later on today. And when I spoke to the general manager, he did say that they're also expecting for the winds to die down, but just a little bit later on. Last week, there were also air operations that you saw where helicopters were basically dropping chemicals onto the wood chip that was not burnt and trying to keep the situation under control with the other wood chip that did catch fire. Today, Danny Kanusin did say to us that they are taking a break from the air operations. They might resume tomorrow. It's going to depend on the situation with the piles that are still currently burning. But for today, they have cancelled their air operations, and they are hoping that with the rain that they're expecting today, it's going to assist just a little bit with the residents, though, because they are expecting for the winds to change or slowly die down by at least 3 p.m. this afternoon. They are saying that that situation is under control, but of course we will be keeping in touch with Denny just to get more information on also their cleanup operations, because we do understand that the teams that are on the ground today are just focusing on the cleanup operations and trying to contain the little fire that is still there. But the update right now is that the fire is almost completely extinguished with the three piles that caught fire last week Saturday.
And just as I say goodbye to you, Lethiwe, as well, I see over your left shoulder is another wood chip pile. That's that pile you're talking about that was being wet to stop it from catching light. It might be a daft question, but I'm seeing it being asked on social media. NCT as a company is obviously not functioning at the moment. It's completely closed down, and it's not going to be opening up anytime soon. Is that correct? I'm seeing mixed versions on social media.
Of course, Gareth, when we spoke to the company last week, they were saying that they're going to be out for at least a few months, and they are expecting for this fire to keep going for at least another week. So right now, they are not working. And when we spoke to them about their operations being affected, they did say that right now, all their focus is on the cleanup operations and not necessarily on the business side. They did say that though a lot of people that depend on the company to take care of their wood will be affected. But with the pile that you're seeing on my left-hand side, that pile actually belongs to another company, which is a competitor of NCT. But their piles were not affected. It actually stands between NCT and the company Fosco. Fosco is a chemical company, and there were concerns last week that if the fire were to make it to the Fosco side, there might be dangers posed to the community, and also with the fire and chemicals together, that's not a good thing. They were basically trying to avoid a disaster. But luckily, because the fire has been contained for the better part of this week, those fears have gone away. We actually did speak to Fosco last week, the CEO from Fosco, and he did say that they had put some contingency plans in place if the fire were to make it on their side. So the two chip piles that you're seeing right now, they were not affected by the fire. It belongs to another company that is a competitor of NCT, but fortunately for them, their piles were not affected. For all the people this side of KwaZulu-Natal, in the northern part of KwaZulu-Natal, who want to bring their stock, they can go to that company. But unfortunately for NCT, they are going to be out of business for at least a few months. They are also losing out on money, of course. They are estimating that they're going to lose out on billions. Most of their machinery was also affected by the fire. When we did that walkabout with the municipality last week, we saw a lot of machinery that was burnt. So that is going to take the company at least 6 months to get back on their feet. But of course, we'll get an update from them when they are ready to give us their estimates as to how much they're losing out. But they did confirm that they're going to be out of business for a few months.
Yeah, and obviously we have to talk about the jobs that are going to be lost at some point as well. But Lethiwe, then I'll leave it there for the moment. I'm glad she mentioned the weather as well. But just looking at Richards Bay very quickly, a best chance of rain for today, at least Richards Bay, is around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Only 39% chance of rain. But as of Tuesday onwards, it looks like 90% chance of rain for up in Richards Bay, that part of the country. I'm sure that'll be welcome as well, just to make sure that that fire is completely out. That was eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli.